Well, good evening, one and all. Welcome to our Tuesday night get-together. This is a group of ASEA associates and people that are looking at the business opportunity and the product. We get together every Tuesday and really exercise the principles of ASEA, and that is to invite people to believe, belong, and become. First, believe in the product, believe the testimonies, believe what you can see with your own eyes. And we invite you to do your own case study and try the product. And then, of course, we encourage you to come and belong and be with us, join us in these meetings and others as we try to spread the word of redox resignaling. And then become healthier, become all that you can possibly be. And if you choose to join us as an associate, help us spread the word, bring families together, bring health, and bring happiness and prosperity to yourself and others. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. We have a very special speaker this evening that I think you'll really enjoy. But before we get into that, I'd like to show a video of Dr. David Silverman. There's people that join ASEA for many different reasons, and he covers briefly just 6 reasons. Find that one of those reasons strike with you. And so I would encourage you to listen carefully to what Dr. Silverman has to say and see if it might strike a chord in your heart and tug at your heartstrings as well. So let's listen to Dr. Silverman.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Silverman. I live just outside of Washington, D.C. My background is podiatry and foot surgery. I don't practice anymore. I'm shooting this very, very brief video about something that's extremely important, and it is truly going to be important for you or someone who you love, literally. It's something that you are going to know about very soon. It's a breakthrough, and as with all breakthroughs, they all sound too good to be true until someone finds out about it. And there was an article in the Huffington Post in 2016 about this breakthrough, and it is this. It's a product called ASEA Redox. And this video that I'm shooting, I'm not explaining what this is. I shot a video called whyitspossible.com. You can look at that if you want to understand what it is. The purpose of this video is to make you listen, hopefully listen to the person who's bringing it to you and say, can you please tell me more about this? I was introduced to it 8 years ago. My friend brought it to me, as your friend is bringing it to you. And the only reason I took the time to look at it was for my father. It wasn't for me. I'll tell you the reasons why people do look at this for different reasons. But for me, it was my father. He had a very grave issue. And he was told he had an issue that people are told they have in different parts of their body, whether it's their lung or their prostate or their bone. And so I was intrigued to know more about this. This is not a drug, okay? There's no toxicity to it. You can't be allergic to it. It doesn't interfere with any other things that you're doing for your health. It has created its own category. And so this is as I say, a breakthrough. And there are 2 products that I'm going to just talk to you about here. One is the drink version of this redox. It's called Redox Signaling Molecules. The company is ASEA, ASEA, and Renew 28, which is the topical version. After you hear the reasons why people take the time to look at this, and if you think it's too good to be true, when you take the gel, try this on 10 people who are hurting. Find 10 people who are hurting in their back, their neck, their knee, wherever, and ask them to rate their discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10. Have them give you 10 minutes, have them shake up the gel and apply it. And this is marketed for wrinkles and cellulite. It works. But have them apply this to the area that's hurting them 3 times in 5 minutes. And at the 10th minute, ask them how they're feeling. And you be the judge. You watch what happens. But that's a quick way to validate what I'm going to tell you here and the reasons why you might be looking at this. The first reason people look at this is because they have a health issue themselves. You may say, well, this sounds too good to be true, but I have a problem with my liver. I have a problem with my blood sugar. I have a problem with sleeping. I have a problem with my mood. I have a problem with my lung. So you're looking to see maybe this product can help you. That's reason number 1 of the 6 reasons why people take the time to look at this and not dismiss it. The second reason was my reason. Maybe you love somebody who's ill, your mother, your father, your child, and you think, God, I can't take the chance of dismissing this and then find out later that it could have helped someone I love, who may not even be here by the time you look at this because you didn't look at it now. So maybe that's the reason. The third reason is the anti-aging benefits. This product, what this does for the skin, proven what it does for wrinkles and skin elasticity and even cellulite. It's a cellular health, a cellular level of benefit. This does the same thing for the cells on the inside of the body. But maybe you're not interested in sleeping better, or you don't believe the other things you're hearing about this product. Maybe you just want to look younger. That's fine. We just want you to come in this amazing room of Redox that has so many benefits. And if it's the wrinkles you want to get rid of that gets you in the door, and then you look at this later, that's fine. The fourth reason is people who want to protect their health. One of the things we notice is that people are generally healthier when they're younger. As we age, we get less healthy. We don't heal as quickly. Well, the fact is, what's in this is in you. It's in us. We produce more of it when we're younger. When we're young, we produce a lot of these redox molecules. As we age, we produce less and less and less and less. They found a way to make it outside the body, safe as water, and you're raising the levels back up in your body. And so it's pretty cool to see the changes that happen. So maybe you just want to protect your health. The fifth reason is athletic performance. Athletes run much faster and further. We have Olympic gold medalists on this product. You can go to ASEAathletes.co and you can see that. And the sixth reason is not the driver for most people. And it wasn't for me, but I looked at reason number 6 afterwards, after I saw what the product did. There's an opportunity created by this. A pharmaceutical company tried to buy this product and technology and the patents, and the founders said no, they were afraid they were going to bury it. At that point, in 2007, they decided to bring it to a market a different way. In 2009, this became an opportunity. For anybody who is struggling or settling, financially, time freedom-wise, life satisfaction-wise, people go through life calling Wednesday hump day. That's life satisfaction. There's an opportunity here. Get with the person who introduced this to you. Get your questions answered about this breakthrough. And if you're interested in the opportunity now, tell them. If you need to see the product work and it's patented and we're at the beginning of this, you can look at the opportunity later. But reason number 6 changed my life. Incredibly changed my life and my family's life, and it's changing a lot of people's lives. So take what you're hearing from your friend very seriously, and you can disbelieve, but suspend your disbelief and try to prove your friend wrong. This is an incredible breakthrough, and as I say, 3 times in 5 minutes, you find people who are hurting, put this on 3 times in 5 minutes, and you watch what happens. Not to 1, 2, or 3, not to 4, 5, or 6. Watch what happens to probably about 9 of them, and you'll know there's something very special here. Thank you so very much.
So I want to say hello. My name is Gloria Liebecker, and I came across this, or ASEA actually found me it was actually a year ago today. I found out. I got a card in the mail today from the company where they said, happy anniversary. So that was really pretty fun. But I was found because Marion Palmer is a very kind and generous soul, and she found me on social media and got curious about who I was and what interested me and what I did in my life. And we began a conversation. And with that conversation, then she asked what I did about healing, because I have Healing You Sanctuary. And one thing led to another. She asked if I'd ever heard of redox signaling molecules, and I hadn't. Well, that same day, I got to look at some very interesting information, and we started having more of a conversation. And then she started introducing me to people. And I discovered through that whole process of just having someone be so interested in me that there was a whole group of people that are interested in other people and really want to make a difference in their life. And so when I found this out, it really aligned with my own values that I have for my own business. And I said, how do I get signed up? So she walked me through the steps and helped me to learn how to expand my horizons. Through that process, she introduced me to Jerry White. And Jerry White had a special group that he put together that he invited me to. And when I got to step into that arena, I got to meet other people. That brings me to our very special guest. One of the special people that I got to meet is, we're going to share my screen here. Oops. And now there we go. Navigating this is Leah. Leah is a very special woman that I've enjoyed getting to know better and better. She's been married to her best friend, Wayne, for 33 years. They have 5 children and 1 son, followed by 4 daughters. She graduated from BYU in '91, where she studied business. And she's worked in the health and fitness industry for 25 years and has enjoyed volunteering in Cub Scouts, PTA, and as a soccer coach for kids. She's also very involved in her church and has served children and youth programs for 29 years. She loves hiking, skiing, running, yoga, and hanging out with her family. And she became a grandma in 2020, which she says is the best gig ever. Leah has 5 passions: faith, family, friends, fun, and ASEA. So help me to welcome Leah, but also caveat here is I'm going to hand off first to my colleague, Marion, and she's going to introduce Jerry, who's going to interview Leah for us tonight. So over to you, Marion. Is Marion here?
I think Marion.
No, she fell in the lake.
She fell in the lake. Okay. Well, let me introduce Jerry. Jerry he's our upline diamond, and he is an incredible soul. He has such a wealth of information, and he's the best mentor I've ever had. He also has an extensive clinical background as a physical therapist and a background in research. He founded the Gait Orthopedic and Neurological Lab at Shriners and was an adjunct professor of biomechanics and physiology at Eastern Washington University. At the therapy school, his personal vision and passion make him a powerful partner with ASEA, and he also serves on the ASEA Medical Board. So let me hand this over to Jerry and Leah.
Hi, everybody. Well, in this life experience of being a part of ASEA, we're really launching a major technology. And the necessity came up to get it to the people with a sense of reality, a sense that it's people who care, who are actually experiencing themselves, who talk to other people. And Leah's got one of the best stories for several reasons, because it's real people. And she lives right there in the valley where this stuff is made. And Leah was somebody I got introduced to through 3 high school friends. And so she has been kind of the spearhead of the most recent sort of efforts that we're making to try to get this to the world in the greater Salt Lake area. So Leah's now, she was in that health and fitness arena. You remember that? Well, that's one of the things that we share so much together, and her love for teaching kids the outdoors and that kind of thing. And I want you to mark those, because this is a product that makes all kinds of difference. You'll hear that. But when it strikes people who know how to make all kinds of difference, you end up with Leah. So Leah, we're going to pass this to you, and she's going to tell you some stories about skiing and hairy knees. So go for it.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, first, thank you for this opportunity. I love being able to tell my story. I have such a long list. I could go on and on. But Jerry wants me to talk about my super interesting story. So I was a huge skeptic when a friend introduced me to ASEA, but I decided to take it after a ski wipeout that required surgery to put some ligaments and parts back together in my knee. And so I began taking it about 4 weeks post-op from surgery. And I didn't think it was going to work, this magic water of hers. And But that first night, she gave it to me and I gave me a little squirt bottle, spray it on your knee whenever it hurts. And it was hurting right then. So I sprayed it on my knee and it was throbbing. And then it started feeling better. Not 100%, but it started feeling better. So I was really surprised, but still a huge skeptic, thought it was just because it was cold. And so that I drank it before bed and slept through the night for the first time since surgery. For 4 weeks. I've been waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning for pain medication. And that was my first real experience. Like, what? That was kind of weird, but I was still skeptical until about 7 to 10 days later, I looked down on my knee and I saw where I'd been spraying it repeatedly. Every time my knee would hurt, I would spray ASEA on my knee. And then there was this little teardrop shaped patch of hair growing back on my knee where my sister had convinced me to get laser hair removal done. And I had had no hair on my knees or legs, no hair on my legs for over a year. For those of you that know how that works, is you repeatedly go in for this torturous process of having it is painful for over a period of about 18 months, and they kill the hair follicle and then it doesn't grow back. Well, then I start spraying this magic water on and my hair grows back on my knee. Imagine how kind of annoyed I was about that. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is legit. This is actually rejuvenating dead hair follicles in 10 days. Are you kidding? And so I thought, well, let's see, this was 2013. So that's 9 years ago. How old am I now? So I would have been about 40, 45 then. Is that right? No, 42. I don't know, whatever. I'm 54 right now. So what, you do the math. I can't do the math under pressure. Anyway, I had joint discomfort, severe, and a whole slew of other, annoying getting older issues. And I decided at that point when I saw that hair growing back on my knee that I was going to continue taking it. And I was faithful from the very get-go. I was a good girl and I drank it faithfully, 2 ounces twice.
Leah, unfortunately, you have frozen, but we'll be with you when you come back. So those of you who are watching, this is called dramatic pause. So in theater, if you wait, we all now are hanging on the edge of this story because she gets it. She believes it. And that's one of the reasons why we had the opportunity to bring her here today. We're going to catch up with her story when she comes back. But I wanted to, as she recycles her Wi-Fi, I wanted to just give you a little bit of the history of it. It started about 11 years ago. Well, 13 years ago, I was just involved about 10. In moving through the regular population out of Salt Lake City. And in Salt Lake City, there was a discovery that was studied for almost 20 years as a scientific health-related study that literally at first had to be introduced through the veins. And the reason it did was because it was so fast to deteriorate or move back to its original state that there we go. We have set you up because people have been like on the edge of their seat now. So carry on, Leah.
Okay, I just kept going on until I heard you say you've frozen. So I don't know where I left off. Where did you lose me?
Well, right after your discovery that this was really something far beyond just making your owie go away.
Yeah, it's far beyond that. So I continued. You've heard that I was faithful. I drank this 2 ounces twice a day I've been drinking that faithfully without exception for 9 years. And 9 months into it, I met a fellow ASEA person and I said, why are you drinking ASEA? And they said, I drink it because my joints don't hurt anymore. And it was then that it dawned on me, I had not even noticed that the joint discomfort that began when I was 17 years old in high school and kept getting worse and worse and worse as I got older, that joint discomfort, I was thinking, how long has it been since my hands hurt? How long has it been since my knee or my hip hurt? And I just couldn't remember. But this was 9 months into it. And I'm like, that is a game changer. You guys, so many people suffer. And I have been able to share this with so many people. In fact, a friend of mine, she has been on the product for 3 months now, faithfully drinking it. And I talked to her on Sunday and she said, my joints don't hurt. And this eye goop thing problem that she has where she gets a thick mucousy stuff over her eye and can't drive sometimes because it gets so bad. Anyway, she says, that's getting better. And she's only been on it 3 months. That is so awesome. And that is what I get so excited when that happens. You know, you just see people feeling better. I feel like it would be irresponsible of me to not share this when I see somebody who's got issues with not feeling good, you know?
Okay, well, Leah, you're the bundle of energy. You have the ability to make us all want this. But let's go to a practical side of this. How did you use it? How much did you take and what did you do? And I know it's technical, but go for it.
Well, it's really hard. You got to know so much. You take the little cup that comes with it, you pour it inside, and then you drink it. And it's good to swish it around in your mouth before you drink it, before you swallow. And then you can put it in a little spray bottle and you can squirt it where it hurts, or you can take the gel and you rub it where it hurts. It's hard.
Now, I've actually known that Leah has practiced this over the years and she can actually do that backwards and put the stuff on and then later drink it. So, I mean, that's, for many of us, that's advanced. So wouldn't it be amazing if those kinds of technologies are available now where you simply have to drink it and apply it? So Leah, there's something more that happened to you that when you saw this, because at first it was, I don't believe it. Second, I don't know why I'm doing this because it's annoying. Third, wait a second, this may be doing something. Fourth, this patch grows back and you start having this this scientific revelation that something here is happening that's never happened before. You started putting all the pieces together. So what did you start to see?
Well, I couldn't not share it with people. So whether it was at the soccer game with the woman with a hurting knee next to me, or somebody at church, or somebody in the PTA with me, or whoever I was around, if somebody was hurting, then I'd want to share that. And as I did that, they actually paid me money for something that I would do for free. That's pretty cool, you know, because I would tell people about it, you know, just like you would a good movie or anything like that. I would do it anyway. So I thought that was cool.
Well, that's pretty interesting. And then you introduced an old friend, and then something else happened. It wasn't just your distribution that you were getting paid for. You made a friendship. You started making a difference together. And then they started adding to your check because of what she did. How does that work?
Well, that's cool because you're getting paid even more by other people that you help as well. And so a little bit of a lot ends up being a lot, if you follow me.
Okay, so you now, it's essentially, it's kind of like if you were thinking about getting this out to the world, Why does it make sense to do it through caring people who have some and try it on other people?
Because the more people you have helping you share this message, the more people that are helped and the more people that are blessed both physically and financially. Because even if they're just like, I only want to use the product, they're being helped. Or if you can tell them, if you just run into somebody who needs it, that's how Jen, my friend from high school, that's how she talked to me. She says, well, if this works and you tell somebody about it and they buy it, would you want to get paid for it? I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer, of course. So
right now, that one act that you did to introduce it, for example, to Shelley, for one of the people, is continuing to produce even when you're not there. How's that work?
well, that's awesome, because when I go out of town, and you know what, today was a beautiful example of that, because I used to work at the gym a lot, and now I'm down to 1 day a week for only less than 4 hours. So today I went out to lunch with Jen and 2 of our other roommates from college roommates, and we were going to just go to lunch. We ended up staying for 3 hours, just having a great time at a steakhouse. And if I was punching a clock, I couldn't do that. And so it's also just the time freedom and being able to make your own schedule. That is so valuable. That's so valuable. So
Yeah, you can. I think the fascinating example of being able to, you've actually been able to help a mom come home and help her son when you had healthcare issues. Is that right? It was with the blood sugar stuff, and she had migraines.
oh yeah. So Shelley is still teaching school, but she is that is her goal, is she's working on being able to finish up her.
Darn it, you froze again. But at least you know that you froze. I guess you can hear it. So as we are waiting for her to kind of re-sign in again, what are some of the things that you're taking away from this that you find Leah's really convincing about? Anybody who wants to open up your mic while we wait?
I'm really inspired by the time freedom. That when you really work together and team up with one another, that it's not just one person that gets the time freedom, but it's everyone on the team.
And Ruth, I saw you raise your hand there.
Yeah. So one of the things that I just realized that you guys are talking about today is that it's really all about helping people. And even if it takes them 6 months to come along, because they're not ready, but when they are ready, you've really made a big difference in that person's life.
So in the case of Shelley, she was getting migraines so bad that she really couldn't attend to the family. I mean, young kids and lots going on and that kind of stuff. And really most of the time she was really debilitated. And to be able to come back from that, and then to be in a point where her own health had gotten so much better, she could now turn her heart to her son. How many people do you think are carrying such heavy burdens that their own difficulties prevent them from being caring and giving in the ways that they would love to do? So that's what this vibrant Leah started with her friend Jen Dixon, who I met early on even before I started this process. But I could tell that these were people that loved and cared about other people enough that they would spread the word. And just like the team that we have on here tonight, there's a way for us to spread the word and get this to the world by saying, in many cases, I got some right here. You want to try it? It overcomes a lot of the issues that people have in talking to somebody. But there's just this joy that comes from being able to make a difference when the difference is needed, whether it's breathing or somebody burns themselves or first aid kind of stuff, or the long-term things. I can just share with you for an example, and one I don't normally bring up. My mother was now divorced, and then my dad died, and she was working for years and years as a nanny, and she retired from that, went to a small town in Idaho and lived in a little single wide trailer. And her life got smaller and smaller. And she didn't get up and get around much. I bet you she didn't walk 100 feet in a day, probably 50. And the world just kind of gets smaller. She didn't know anybody. There wasn't anybody, about 125 people in the town. No one to visit. She started getting very cold. The heating system was a problem. She wasn't telling any of us. But based on what we were able to do in starting this process and developing revenue to help our family be done with the revenue, we came up with an interesting situation where we could go up, and my wife, who's an angel, she said, let's go up to your mom's. And she had done some research. She asked my mom to point out about 8 or 10 pieces of furniture that she just couldn't live without, and a few things that she really wanted. And we said, pack them up. She was able to will her home to my sister, and we've been able to put her in a place that's got 2 bedrooms, vaulted ceiling, fireplace, and is attached by a hallway to a bunch of other residents. But it's also got a front door, so she can live her real life. And then during the afternoons and evenings, she can go down to dinner, go down and be social, do all kinds of stuff together. And she's never had to pay a cent for it, where she was slowly dying because she was worried about the future. And interestingly, about 6 weeks after she was there, she said, I didn't want to live anymore. Now I have friends and people to talk to. I think it's grand to be around and to share, to make a difference. And she says, I want to live forever. So whatever entices you, whatever brings you to a sense of fulfillment and happiness in your life, the mechanism for what we do here is just simply to introduce other people who can choose. You yourself can choose, or other people can, to use the technology. I have a feeling you're going to be shocked. And then if you really need to try it to see if it's going to make a difference, call your dog. Because you see, your dog will do almost anything you want. Now, if your dog has got a limp or a lump or a drool or a incontinence or whatever your dog's got, give it a try. Because guess what? Your dog doesn't need a placebo. They don't. If they're hurting, they're hurting. If they're not, they're not. It'll be one of the most convincing things you ever do. Well, sometimes that makes the horizon come up that says, wait a second, if I've helped my pet, I know there's people down the street, that's the most important thing in their life. Can you see how this stuff starts to go viral? So what we do is we have the option for you to order it yourself off of your own little site that we give you. It's called a preferred customer. And then it's private, which many people like to be. And it comes to your house and you can use it. Then you can be dangerous and go out and help others. There's a second option that says, you know, I really would like to learn how to do something like this that I'll actually produce revenue because it's in my soul to make a difference. So then you can enroll. It costs $40 to do that for an enrollment package, and then you can pick up what you need. Share with other people. There's another fascinating thing that we do is we have some websites like realredoxresults.com. And that site has a password called Redox. Go in and listen to the stories. And if you're driven and compelled to make a difference in those areas, it'll be more fun than you can shake a stick at. But then there's another level where people have said, you know, if I get to have the benefits from something like this, I want to watch other families grow and develop. I want to watch them become, just as Doug had said to us, the believe, and then the belong. That was, we just talked about. And then the become. Become is an interesting word. It's whatever you can become. So those are the options, and we'll let you go with that. But then we'll leave off with Leah, who probably has something else really stimulating and fun to say. Are you with us, Leah?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm on my phone now, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It started being wonky yesterday, but I had high hopes for today.
Okay, Leah, let's kind of rally the thing and pull it together. You and I have been actually working on this together, and you get to choose your own path. Now, that's not always easy to do. You get to choose your own path where you want to go. Where would you like to see this go in a perfect world in the next 4 or 5 years? And how do you think the mechanism for what we do can accomplish what you want to do? I want you to say this in such a term that everybody here is inspired to find their own way as well.
Well, I think it is getting easier and easier to share, because the tools that we have now that we didn't have 9 years ago, like all the experiences and videos and realredoxresults.com, that validation that we can be able to show people, hey, this is a very simple way to see how this works and what it's doing for people. I think that's so powerful. And then the use of social media to get the word out to people is just so much easier. So I would love everyone to know about this. So Shelly and I are having a blast. We talk to each other all the time. She's hilarious. She's fun. And the people that we are meeting and sharing, especially the skincare, people really, really love it. And I do too. I absolutely love it, and seeing great results with that. And so, you know, we just have the greatest products and the greatest opportunity that is fun to do. And I just can't imagine doing anything different. I wouldn't want to do anything different.
Very good. Well, let's kick it back to our host. And so Gloria, you're on mute.
We'll send it over to Ruth Cray, and she's going to take us out.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank everyone for coming here, for your time and attention, and also Jerry and Leah for sharing your experiences. It's very inspirational when you guys talk and share. And I'd like to invite everyone to reach out to whoever invited you to watch this recording or this presentation, and ask them for the next steps. And like Doug said, we meet every Tuesday and with Jerry, and he's interviewing someone spectacular every day. And I'd like to invite you tomorrow on August 10th at 3:30 Pacific time to hear Patricia Johnson. She is celebrating a restored life and revived health. The Zoom ID is 509-876-1802, password healthy. And I'm looking forward to seeing you here. Invite your friends.